Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2025. No, 2026. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. We are here at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students on their journey through this life. And Monday through Friday, we focus on the physical, mental, and emotional. This is day 3 of week 4 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And this week 4 we call leadership. Leadership, not lederhosen, leadership. It's actually about power. It's getting people to do what you want. In business, what is it called? What are people who get other people to do what they want called? So you could say bosses, but it's what is the science of it? What is the discipline called, or the skill? It's called management. Management. In the military, it's called leadership, but it's the same thing, getting other people to do what you want. This week, we learn how to do that. We focus on how to do that. And we start with the idea that not every day is the same. Some days are worse than others. And ultimately, you either have a crisis day or perfect day. And we've started this week out with crisis, Nancy Kane talking about that, and perfection, Michael Sugra talking about stoicism, and Marcus Aurelius in particular. Now today, we're going to focus on what it's like most of the time: practical leadership, pragmatic leadership. And we're going to learn some lessons of somebody who is kind of a man after our own heart, especially from the perspective of the state pen, as opposed to Penn State, state pen. But before we do that, let's look at our worksheet, look at some of the themo-memos. The theme of today is the wraparound. Today is the wraparound. Yesterday was the Nevada Frontier, and we'll say we continued our streak of being able to say we'll never be as crappy as we were today, but we're better than last week, and last week was better than the first week. So our trend is going up, and I would say it's going up at a faster rate. So maybe here was the first week, the second week was a little bit better, the third week is a little bit better than it was last week. In fact, it might be equal to the previous 2 weeks combined. So it was good. Thus, I project, I foresee, I put the envelope to my head and say, in 22 weeks, we should have a decent show. Cool. Great. Supercalifragilistic. And yeah. So today we learn a little bit about pragmatic leadership. Ignatius of Loyola, after our own heart, started a big problem. Life got very bad. He clawed his way back and had to deal with the authorities, but he did it. And the idea is if he can do that, we can all do something. All right. Advice from an 80-year-old. Do not pray for easier lives. Pray to be stronger. Right. Don't pray for easier lives. Pray to be stronger. How many times do we say, please take this burden off of me? Please make it easier. And this is saying what we should be saying is, please make me stronger, not life easier. And I think that's a great orientation to the world, because the world doesn't care about our problems. Praying for the world to be nicer isn't really the way to go. The way to go is to be stronger. Okay, so I'm thinking right now, I've got in my brain the wraparound going on. So it's interesting doing the show and thinking about all of the things I have to do for the wraparound today. Next, let's look at Seth Godin. Identity violation and pricing. Identity violation and pricing. That's an interesting title. Identity violation and pricing. Why do books and records have standard pricing? You'd think that a record from Miles Davis or Patricia Barber would cost more than one from the local garage band. Economists tie themselves into knots trying to explain why wine and handbags have such wide price variations, but tickets to movies do not. They invoke credence goods and focal point coordination and transaction utility and cost disease. Darby, Carney, Schilling, Baumol, Thaler, a parade of noble and thinkers building elegant models to explain what's sitting right in front of them. It's simpler than that, I think. People don't go into publishing or music to make a profit, most of them, not the smart ones. They do it to create culture and be part of a culture. They're not going to brag about making a lot of money. They'll brag about finding art or sharing it. Meanwhile, down the street at the hedge fund, the entire point is to go find and capture price differences. Leaving money on the table isn't just a missed opportunity, it's an embarrassment. It means you weren't paying attention. The pricing norms in any industry reflect the idea of who built it. Hermes could auction Birkin bags and make more money. They don't, because scarcity through restraint is the elegant move, the identity consistent move. It's what people like them do. Movie theaters were built by showmen who inherited vaudeville instincts. Pack the house, give them a show, make it up on popcorn. Uniform ticket pricing isn't economically optimal. It's simply what people like us have always done. Thus, this explains why industries are so stable and why disruption feels like betrayal. When concert tickets went dynamic, the backlash wasn't about economics. It was moral outrage. Artists who adopted surge pricing weren't just changing strategy. They were declaring themselves to be a different kind of person. The fans noticed. Amazon didn't share publishing's allergy to profit. Ticketmaster didn't share the old promoter's loyalty to fans. They weren't optimizing within the culture, they were violating it. The price variation in any market reflects not what the market bears, but what the people in that market can bear to charge. That's the key. The economist will keep building models, but if you want to understand why things cost what they cost, don't ask what's efficient. Ask what kind of person would be embarrassed to charge more or embarrassed not to. Another deep one from Seth Godin. Another good one. Okay. So what else we got on our hit parade today? What was our time? 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see if we got anything else here. All right. Very good one from Jordan Peterson about believing in God is a struggle. It's not a statement. Seth Godin, we just did. Daily Stoics. Who do you spend time with? So the classic old, who do you spend time with? The people we spend time with have the most influence on us. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about where we are, where we're going, because we're winding down. This is day 3 out of 7 on week 4. So the question is, who am I and why do I behave the way I do? Who am I? Why do I behave the way I do? From a neuroscience perspective, from kind of a nuts and bolts, what's going on in our brain? The idea being, if I know who I am and I know why I behave the way I do, I can what? Dial in who I need to be right now. And if I can dial in who I need to be right now, will I be the most effective that I can be right now? And note, maybe who I need to be right now is somebody who is not rational, right? Because I need to ward off danger. And if I'm too rational, too complacent, it's easy for people to resist. But if I'm irrational, people don't know how to respond, right? Because I'm irrational. And maybe that's the best way to ward off danger. So having the ability to dial in who I need to be right now literally means that. It's not a how to be your best person. No, it's who do I need to be most effective right now. And if I have my, let's say my North Star, my horizon, where I'm heading is the right one, then maybe I need to be irrational. Maybe I need to be hyper rational. Maybe I need to just not respond, right? Because what do we say about emotion? If you can't control your emotions, don't worry. Somebody else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. How many times did something bad happen because you lost control of your emotions? And I would say that's not really the right framing of the that's not the right construction of the phrase lost control. I think it would be more of you gave up control. You didn't lose, hey, what happened to my emotions? No, it was like, I really want that cheesecake, or I really want that oatmeal raisin cookie. I really, really want that, but I shouldn't have it. I don't. I'm going to resist. I'm going to resist. I'm going to resist. What's that over there? Hey, how'd this cookie get in my hand? It's in my hand. I might as well eat it. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's giving up control. And sometimes one way to not give up control is to be distracted from what you're thinking about. Think about something different. And thinking about something different isn't saying, think about something other than pink elephants. Don't think of pink elephants. Pink elephants are going to lead to trouble. Don't think about pink elephants. Better would be to say, what was the last blue dolphin? I heard there was this thing called a blue dolphin. It's kind of like a blue whale, but it's not a whale, it's a dolphin. And when I say dolphin, I mean a mammal, not a fish. And that's kind of interesting that there are some sea creatures that are fish and some are mammals. Some are warm-blooded, some are not. And as I'm doing that, what am I not thinking of? I'm not thinking of a pink elephant because I'm not focused on not thinking about pink elephants. I'm focused on thinking about something else. And that could be one way to control our emotions. Instead of saying, keep calm, stay calm. What really I'm trying to do, as they say, don't remember his name, TED Talk, trying to hold down the spring, right? It's trying to pop up. It's trying to get me to think of pink elephants. And I'm saying, no, don't think of pink elephants. And pretty soon you're going to think of one. Versus other approach would be to think about blue dolphins. And then really focus on what is a blue dolphin. Okay, so along those lines, we're now at week number 4. How do we get people to do what we want them to do? How do we do that? And we learned on Monday, if you're in a crisis, there's a bunch of things to do. On the other hand, we learned yesterday, if you're the king of the world, the most powerful person in the world, you can have whatever you want. Focus on things like, what is the right thing? Like, well, all I have to do, Stoicism, do the right thing in the right way, at the right time, for the right reason. That's all I need to do. Focus on doing that and avoid doing things like giving into my temptations. How do I not give in to temptations? Well, one way is to think about something else. Don't try to resist doing that. Be active. Be active. In fact, I think one of the fears, I'm going to put that out there on the record, I think that as AI is getting so much better every day, every hour, we can't keep up with it now. There's so many different things, but that will coalesce. Like in the year 1906, I think there were 500 car companies around the world. And then it coalesced. It gelled into, in the 70s, there were probably 50. And I don't know if there's more or less now, but a lot of AI stuff going on right now. People will catch up and things will get settled down. But one of the consequences of it is that you don't need to talk to other people because you get access to the thoughts of billions of people throughout time instantaneously. So what do I get talking to you that I can't get more of talking to others? As an example, I was in a meeting last night and they were talking about bylaws and mission statements. And these are not really high level people. These are not people who graduated from top universities. Good people, but not educated, especially in creating bylaws and mission statements. So they're talking about, hey, how about if you join our mission statement thing? We can do this together. And in my mind, it's kind of like, well, why don't you just go on AI, put in a prompt, say, here's where we are, here's who we are, here's what we're trying to do. Come up with 5 sample mission statements for us that we can build bylaws around. What? And in 30 seconds, you have something better than could ever be created by the people in that room. That is dangerous because we don't need to be talking to other people. We don't need to form groups of people arguing over punctuation and rhyme scheme and tense and things like that. So we're getting close to the end of our time. And yesterday's show, again, better. We're heading in the right direction. It's getting better. We're using the tools more. People are getting more efficient at what they're doing. It's still taking a long time to do the show, but that's okay. We're getting better. We're going to continue getting better. So we will say, and get ready to cut and cut and